First of all, I would like to convey my heartfelt gratitude to dignitaries on the dais, the Honorable Vice Chancellor of the University, Professor Gurmeet Singh. Thank you very much, sir, for providing us with the opportunity to conduct this training program and being with us during the inaugural session. Also, I would like to thank Dr. A. Sahin Sultana, who has been our associate partner from last 3-4 years, conducting many programs when the entire country was into the lockdown mode, and we started conducting programs online. Thank you very much, ma'am, for providing us with the opportunity to conduct this face-to-face program. Also, I would like to thank you, the Associate Professor and Head, Department of Social Work, Pondicherry University, K. Anbu sir. Thank you, sir. Also, I would like to convey our heartfelt thanks to our Executive Director, Sri Taj Hassan, IPS, and Senior Most Professor of National Institute of Disaster Management, Professor Santosh Kumar, who has been a guiding force for all of us where we have reached today. I'll be just telling you. National Institute of Disaster Management is a apex institute in the country when we are talking about capacity building, training, policy making, helping state governments, etc. And the disaster management started in the country after the Act was enabled in year 2005. Thereafter, the apex authority in this country is National Disaster Management Authority. The apex disaster response force, everyone will be knowing about it, National Disaster Response Force. And the apex institution for training and capacity building is National Institute of Disaster Management. And this National Institute of Disaster Management has set up its campus in the southern India, based at Andhra Pradesh, Vijayawada. And this center was started in year 2019. And immediately when we started our work on the ground, all of a sudden COVID-19 was there and everything was halted, almost for 2 years. But like our Honorable Prime Minister says, Apada mein avsar, that we also find out. We immediately converted all our face-to-face programs into online mode, and we started imparting online trainings. And you will be surprised to know, not only a number of programs that is also specifically focused with on the subject of children, youth, women, mental health, nutrition, everything, a lot of topics we covered. And we reached out to the last man of the country, and surprisingly, I don't know how, but we have been able to create 2 records in that period. One record with the highest number of participants in online training mode. The another record was highest number of participants in a training program, 3 days training program. I think about 17,000 or 18,000 participants were participated and successfully participated in the training program. That was with Andhra Pradesh Human Resource Development Institute, APHRDI, and NIDM program. So that was starting of our journey. And the southern campus, which I talked about, which is being set up, it's well established. It's focused with a special focus in now disaster management. We have achieved a lot. Why not a step ahead? Disaster management in general, everyone knows. I know that most of you people are from youth organizations, NCC, NSS, NYKS, Red Cross, etc., etc. But disaster management in general is now time we have to move ahead. And what to move ahead with? The 2 things were very important. The first thing, the children. Children are not only our present, but they are future of the country as well. They are tomorrow's leaders. So if we start training the child, or those people who are taking care of the children since the very beginning, then the child will be trained with a mental setup where disaster resilient preparedness, response, everything will be inbuilt. So that's the one way how the country become resilient. The another one, when we are talking about India, most of you will be knowing that India is one of the most youthful nations. There is immense youth opportunity possibilities. There are a lot of organizations, all these organizations like NCC, NSS, NYKS, these are well set up organizations. Why not to bring them with something that they can, in a situation of disaster, either it's after or before, preparedness or response, or whatever it is, even the awareness generation. If they are brought onto a common platform, their services will be very, very important, very valuable for the community in coming days. So with this vision into our mind, we started a program engaging youth and adolescents in disaster and risk management. This 5 days program will take you with a lot of conceptual topics, a lot of group discussions, many exercises, and we will be inviting our best of the experts who will be interacting with all of you for next 5 days. And not only the things stops here. After the completion of 5 days training, the entire database of yours is with us. Okay. And once, like suppose that disasters happens everywhere, anytime, anywhere, no need of, you don't know what will happen tomorrow here in Pondicherry. Like Morbi pool collapse, everyone will be knowing about it. Very happy atmosphere, everyone was in a situation of enjoying the festivities. All families, all kids were going to just enjoy the festivities. And all of a sudden, the entire city was into chaos. So the idea is that after this 5 days training, you will be our trained trainers with a database with us. And if something happens in your area, definitely we are going to interact with you, call up you. Okay, now it's time that whatever you have learned into this classroom, 5 days training, now you have to go there and implement on the ground. So take this training very seriously by your heart, and I promise you that whatever doubts, confusions will be there, our experts will clarify it, try their best to resolve your queries. And unless your confusion and queries are resolved, don't move forward. Because this training is not just for the sake of training. You are going to get the certificate of trainers. Okay? So 5 days less, I know that. Many times we are getting the feedback, okay sir, 5 days is less, it should be more. But our concerns are also there. We are also bound by some of the reasons or some of the concerns that we can't go beyond the 5 days. So after this successful training, if you need further training, then you can join again us in more focused training. Like here we are going to train youths how to engage them into the disaster management. Maybe the next training with Pondicherry University we will be organizing simply on the mental health issues. Okay, maybe on the child rights. So step by step we can go ahead. I have to talk a lot with you in the class also, so I'll take a pause here. Thank you very much. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much, sir. Now I invite Professor Gurmeet Singh, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Pondicherry University, to deliver the inaugural address.
Good morning, friends. I am delighted to be here with you to inaugurate this program that National Institute of Disaster Management is conducting with the help of course, Ministry of Home Affairs and jointly with our Department of Social Work, School of Social Sciences and International Studies for this 5 days program which you are going to be attending. In my own personal opinion, it is going to be a very important program, and I'll tell you it is important because the moment it was decided to have this, or when the idea was germinated, I was a part of it way back in 2003. Well, disaster management, as the name suggests, is to manage the disasters, and if one says our country is not going to have disaster, maybe other cities will have, our city will not have, or other states will have and our state is very safe, I think nobody can predict. What form of disaster you will get, you never know. It could be in the form of an epidemic that we have seen in the recent times. It could be a flood, it could be an earthquake, it could be anything, excessive rain. So flooding can be there. There can be a shortage of food, famine, anything can be there, and that is a disaster. Now, what was happening was till about, I would say, if I remember correctly, till about 1988, if my memory serves me very right, in University of Delhi, near about or adjoining areas, there was a massive flooding, and our area is supposed to be a higher area as compared to the other areas of Delhi. There are areas adjoining Delhi University, Model Town, Mukherjee Nagar, Shakti Nagar. These are the ones which are a little low-lying. And people would always say that these are low-lying areas and the areas around Delhi University can never be flooded. So this is the way, I mean, we never faced any disaster till that time. And life was very normal, and suddenly in 86, 87, there was a very heavy rain around all over in North India. And there was a heavy flooding, such a heavy flooding that one area in adjoining University of Delhi, the entire area, complete first floor was flooded. First floor, I'm not talking about ground floor. Complete houses were inundated and nobody could ever imagine. That was the first time, and I was an NCC in charge of the area of the university, having done some training. We were at a loss what to do, and I remember the DG NCC there immediately said, well, we will look into how can we solve this. And when we drove to that area, there the whole area was flooded. We saw a sea-like thing and nobody knew. Senior police officers were there, senior administration was there. They were all, they said, okay, let's start, people are hungry, let's start distributing breads. Let's start giving water. Nobody knew what is to be done. Call doctors, let us see what medicines can be given. Let me tell you in short, it was an utter chaotic situation. Everything was in chaos. Nobody knew what to do. If somebody started distributing food, everybody started doing this. Langar came from Gurdwaras adjoining without realizing that there is enough food, now we don't need to distribute anymore, but there were duplication of efforts. Somebody was giving water, people started giving water. That was one point where we realized that there needs to be an organized way of tackling such disasters. Then it went on, and there was another disaster in 98 where there was a kind of a shortage of food because of few problems in the adjoining areas. I am not naming. You know, when there are disputes in the adjoining areas, they stop traffic, they block roads. So the commodities will not reach the place. So there was a shortage of medicine, there was a shortage of food. So that is another one which Delhi had to encounter somewhere around 98, 99. We managed, but in a very chaotic manner. Absolute chaos. Nobody knew what is to be done. Then there was a problem in Japan when an earthquake came and the entire Kobe city lost, all the bridge collapsed, metro lines collapsed. But the best part was, many countries around the world offered assistance to Japanese government. They said, we'll come and set your city of Kobe back to life. And Japanese said, no, we will do it ourselves. Now that is something which needs to be studied by our Disaster Management Institute. How they did it, they do not have extra force, they don't have extra hands. But in a span of less than 9 months, I am saying, if you see this Kobe earthquake disaster, you will find the entire bridges having toppled down, entire metro lines came to the ground, and you could just see them lying on the floor. The whole bridges, metro lines, everything. And in a span of less than 9 months, Kobe came back to its normal life. Metro started running, bridges were there. How they did it, it is a lesson to be learned from everybody. They had such an organized structure of managing disasters. Now the question is how Japanese had it and why we never had it. Japanese will face earthquakes, flooding, all kinds of natural calamities every now and then. And they have organized They have designed their structure in a manner that they are ready to face this in the best of ways. This is a lesson to be learned not only by us, by everybody in the world. So much so that they thought that our country is very vulnerable to such natural disasters. Why should we not have an alternative land also? And they have no land in and around, it's all sea. Now they have started making an island, artificial floating island, as per the needs they could take it anywhere. Huge one of the size of a state of Japan, and there the life will be as if it is a normal life on the ground. So this is the way they plan. Now this is their organized structure to manage disaster is a lesson for everybody. This is what we were also studying, our social sciences were studying, our thinkers were thinking what to do. And around 2003, I was the proctor of the university at that time, a thought came that we should also have an institute called disaster management. And I am forgetting the name, there was a lieutenant general who headed that meeting. And subsequently there was an IAS officer called Mr. Harsharan Singh Bali. Bali is what I remember very clearly. And he was also there, and they started thinking on this. And there, when I remember, there was a meeting of about 20 to 30 senior officers that we should set up a National Institute of Disaster Management. And I was shocked, some of our senior officers, they said, where is the need? The police is there, civil defense is there, NCC is there, NSS is there, Red Cross is there. Where is the need for a disaster management? What will they do? We have everything in force. And they were giving very negative reports that it is not required. I remember having said that in the event of a disaster management, none of us would know how to coordinate, whom to approach. We know that when anything is to be done in the city, the state chief minister is contacted. If any state or any district is to be done, district collector is connected. There are ways, there is a hierarchy set of what to do, what not to do. But for disasters, there is nothing. Absolutely nothing. So they said, well, we should have some system by which, if flooding happens, we should have one apex agency where we should contact. Or they are the ones who will swing into action. There is a greater need, despite majority of the persons in that meeting, very first meeting. If you check the record, you will find, despite about more than 70% people saying no, not required. Second meeting was conducted after another 4 months, where gradually this dawned upon them that, well, there is a need for this. And we all spoke in that. We said it is required, and whenever there is a disaster of any kind, there should be an agency which should be contacted. This is the way it took shape. And then they said we should organize an international conference on disaster management. It was a mega conference. I don't know, a lot of money was spent. People came from all over, and it was organized in a 5-star hotel. I remember they gave wonderful kit, expensive kit to every participant. I opposed that. I said, no, in such a short span, you cannot have a mega conference of this kind. But when government decides to do it, and when the money is there, power is there, they can do anything. And that conference was organized. That was to set up the disaster management in our country. People came from all over, they addressed, then there was a series of meetings, and ultimately this National Institute of Disaster Management took birth with a board, with members, and they started thinking upon what to do. First 4 years, up to about 2008, it was very slow. I've been following this because of the fact that I was heading the Proctorial Board of University of Delhi till 2010. So this was very slow in the initial 4 years, but then couple of disasters here and there. One interstate dispute took place where about 400 people died on some river water issues. I'm not giving you the details. We needed the help there. Then there was another flooding problem in one of the states. We needed help. It wasn't there, but this was taking shape. Gradually, to come to the point, National Institute of Disaster Management was set up. They spread their wings. We should have a place in every state. Once anything strikes our country, this is the nodal agency, and then they will do. And now, cutting it short for your benefits, have you ever seen a flooding taking place in Chennai, which we feel very, very often we see these days? Today also there is a warning of very heavy to heavy rain in some districts here. Now, whenever there is any flooding, whenever there is a COVID is what we have seen, you would find that National Institute of Disaster Management teams would be there with their boats. Whenever there is any problem, they are there. And have you ever imagined where do they emerge from? Do you think they are all flown from Delhi? The boats are flown? No. We have stationed strategically all over the country, wherever, whenever it is needed, be it eastern part or northern part or any part of the country. From the adjoining area, this is so very well designed now, and it is improving further that the disaster management teams would arrive there and help. Gujarat flooding you have seen. Anywhere else, if you collect the data, you will find this Institute of Disaster Management has performed in a very appreciable manner. I will not say that they have all the resources on their hand. They are also limited set of people, limited set of forces there, limited resources are there because of obvious reasons. But now they have gathered enough. As I said, first 4 years was slow, but now they have taken off. Now they know, they even have their aircrafts at their disposal in case of emergency. Well, if I say that this is an organization which is in place in our country, rightly so, but do you think that they are the ones, if Mr. Raka is the one, something happens there, he will be the one who will create some magic and things will be managed? It will not be. He will have to contact somebody. He will have to have some mechanism by which people are approached and they will swing into action. So this is what is happening. They have not employed 10 lakhs of employees. They have not had 5 lakhs of boats. They have set up a mechanism that in case of this, state NCC, state NSS, Red Cross, all these would be roped in. And this is the purpose of this, that training the trainers, that in case of any emergency, in case of any disaster, how will we manage this? The purpose of workshop is this. I will give you a parallel example on this which will make things better and clearer, is our Election Commission of India. I don't know how many of you have seen the Office of Election Commission of India. If you go to Delhi, there is one building on Ashoka Road, one building of the size of our administrative building of the university. I mean, we have 2 floors, they have 4 floors, that's the difference. Not a very big building, it's not in acres, it is probably half an acre. In one corner of Ashoka Road, Election Commission sits, where you have Chief Election Officer, 3 election commissioners, and couple of Deputy Election Commissioners, and some staffs here. If I put the number, it will not exceed 100 in the entire building. And what a remarkable exercise they do when the elections are conducted. Do you think they have employees? Do you think they have security forces? Do you think they have manpower to do this? But what an election we conduct. It's a mammoth exercise. Have you ever thought of how big is our election system? Entire Europe put together, we are twice the size of that. American continent put together, we are twice the size of that. Australia is 1/6 of our size in terms of votes. But look at the way we do it. For one voter in the remotest part of northeastern side, electronic voting machine goes there. 4 people will go there to get one vote. And sometimes, if you have read some books on this, they wait throughout the day and the voter decides not to vote. And they carry their machine back. They take it on horses, they take it on ponies, they walk kilometers and kilometers. But how do they do it? This system is in place. When elections are announced, election commissioners will tell, okay, school teachers will go there, college teachers will look after this, police will do this. So they will only request the state machinery that you deploy your police officers for this, students here, volunteers there, and the whole process is conducted very smoothly. It is conducted smoothly because we take it as a cardinal duty that if election is there, I must perform my duty of 10 hours in a very serious way. Since this is done, our elections go on very, very flawlessly. And come down to the counting. Do you think the election commission staff will count? No. Everywhere else, in Pondicherry, there is a place where the voting is counted. There is a way they arrange representative to be there, observer to be there. Everybody is there, every data is there, and how fast it is transmitted to the news agencies, it is something to be seen, to be believed. On the similar lines, they said National Institute of Disaster Management should function. There is no need to have their own, initially they thought we will have 10,000 employees. They said, no, there should be one coordinator. Now you said Mr. Taj Hassan is the one who's heading. So some senior officer will head, he will have some staff members, and then there will be coordinators in states. We have 28 states, 28 coordinators are more than enough. And then they will tell, in case of any requirement, probably, okay, Pondicherry, there is a disaster, contact Pondicherry University Vice Chancellor, NCC, NSS, Red Cross, whatever is there, we will pass on the message, we will rope them in and we will tell them, here is the place you have to do. If I have 10 boats at my disposal, I will put it to that. Coast Guard has something, they will not say, these are my boats. At that time, it becomes the property of National Disaster Management. If Home Guards are there, police is there, they will not say, we are from Pondicherry Police. They will say, we are acting for National Institute of Disaster Management. This is what is required in place, and for a country like ours, it is not a very easy thing, let me tell you, unless, I am repeating, unless we all wake up to the call of the duty, and then only it will be done very successfully. And that is when we have this organized structure in place. And this is what Mr. Raka and officers of like are doing. This is what we need to learn, that what way we are going to have a structured organization for this. And we don't need to have permanent staff there. Only when in the event of an emergency, we need to get up and start doing our duty. If I am a teacher here, or if I am an officer in Pondicherry administration, in the event of a disaster management, I will leave that thing, and as per the call of the officer there, I will go and stand there and start helping people, irrespective of what I am. This structured organization is required, and for a country like ours, which is huge in size, we need to conduct such training programs to tell them that in your area we are going to have this kind of blocks, in your area we are going to have this kind of arrangement, and in the event of this, you need to wake up, you need to get up, you need to help, you need to assist. This is done, if this is done successfully, this is one being organized here, and such programs are being organized elsewhere also, throughout the country. And if this way we can have a structured arrangement wherein the citizens will know what am I to do in the event of a disaster of any kind. It could be any kind, let me tell you. And if we know that, probably we'll be able to save our society, we'll be able to save our nation, we'll be able to stand up to the tragedy that one faces otherwise, not because of your fault, but because of natural disasters. So that is what is required, and this is what our National Disaster Management Institute is doing. I am happy to see that NSS, NCC, Nehru Yuva Kendra, Red Cross, Junior Red Cross, and Civil Defense Volunteers, they are all participating here. Now, it is not that Red Cross is not aware of what they have to do. They have been doing a remarkable service over the last so many decades, or for that matter, civil defense officers. They know what is to be done. NCC fellows, they know what is to be done. But collectively, how will we rise up to the occasion in the event of a disaster is what they are trying to do. And I am sure this 5 days workshop will go a long way in the area of structuring our management of disasters. And this is where, there has to be some conductor when a music program is done, who conducts that you play this, you do this. And that conductor is our National Institute of Disaster Management. They are trying to help us move in a manner that in the event of anything, it becomes an orchestra, where people will enjoy, people will take this duty very seriously, and orchestra like in unison we will work and will overcome the disaster. That is the purpose. If there are 40 musicians and all play in their own way, it will become a noise. But if there is a fellow who says, this is what you have to do, it becomes so good a music that we enjoy. This is what is the National Disaster Management Institute. In the event of a disaster, they will tell you what way we have to act. And this is what you are expected to be doing. They are going to convey who is to do what. These gradual events will come up and would ultimately become a national force which will come up. This force is there in Japan, this force is there in certain other countries, not every country. Korea has one. similar kind of a concerted force, if we can have, it will go a long way in managing any kind of a disaster that we have faced in the last decade, in fact, and we have done very well in containing this. Chennai flood is one example. The whole T Nagar, what is that called, subway, gets totally flooded, but it has been managed very well. Water has not gone into the areas where otherwise it could have gone. They have contained where to open, what to do. So this is what is required, and I'm glad you are organizing this workshop where Dr. Shaheen and her team has done very well, and please attend to this seriously. It is a national cause. You attend to this seriously. In the event of, God forbid, let's not face that, but in case it happens, we should be prepared. We should be organized, and this is what the total endeavor is going to be about. So I wish the workshop a grand success, and hope that this would spread further in other parts in the way I am expecting this to be there, and then we'll be in safer hands. We are grateful to National Disaster Management Institute that they have come all the way here to help our area, which will be, in the event of need, you will realize how important such meetings are. Thank you very much, and God bless all of us.
Now I invite Sri Ranjan Kumar from CCDRR NIDM New Delhi to say a few words.
Very good morning to everyone. Respected Honorable Vice Chancellor, all dignitary on the dais, and participate present here in this gatherings. This program is mainly focused on engagement of youth in DRR and climate change adaptations. We are all aware about that. Recently in November, COP27 organized in Egypt, main focus on climate change adaptations, reducing the CO2 carbon emission in our country. The climate change impact is need to take more care, because last 2 and 3 decades, disaster frequency like cyclone, floods frequently happen in our country and directly impact to different level of our different state of our country.
Start something, so all the very best, please.
And indeed, thank you, sir. Okay, India also having a commitment of 3 international commitments. One, Sendai Framework 2015 to 2030, Sustainable Development Goal, and COP27. These are another commitments in which we have to more focus on youth participation, because youth are active, proactive actors in managed disaster at local levels. So this program main objective to focus what is the role of youth at planning level, what is the role of youth and mitigation and preparedness levels, and how to train those youth to manage disaster during the phase of disasters. How to how to train youth in different type of skill, like suppose that some have a skill of swimming, some have a skill of management level, some have a skill of financial level. So this different level of use of youth is very important, and in this perspective the engagement of youth and engagement of participation is very important. And this collaborative program, thank you so much for give opportunity to organize NIDM such type of program, and the youth role to manage disasters. The recent 10 point of the COP27 had 1 point to strengthening the collaborative agency, a different stakeholder network, and this is also the part of networks. local level network, strengthen the local level capacity. For strengthen the local level capacity, we have to need more collaboration, more participation of different stakeholders in different level. Those who are working in different area, some stakeholder working in health, some stakeholder working in education, some stakeholder working in different criteria. And another part is also finance. And microfinancing is also the part of the COP27. According to COP27, climate change, for reduction of climate change action, youth action is very important. And one pledge of UN also, climate change for youth action. This is the pledge of UN in recent coming years. And our responsibility to ensure the safe of human natural resources in our country for next 100 years. And after that, I thank you for all. Thanks.
Thank you, sir. Now, I invite Dr. Balu I from CCDRR NIDM New Delhi to say a few words.
Honorable Vice Chancellor Sir and Professor Head Department of Social Work, Professor Sahin Ma'am and Professor Nalini Ma'am. On behalf of the CCDR Center NIDM, I would like to extend our sincere gratitude to you for collaborating with us for conducting many programs. I think this is our fourth program and first one in the physical mode. So thank you so much for collaborating with us. And just I would like to share the background out the course. See, in the past 4 or 3 decades, India is facing large number of devastating disasters, taking account from the Lathuri earthquake and Kashmir flood and tsunami and COVID and many other floods and cyclones. And another side, if you see our country's population, almost half of the population is youth, right? And at the same time, our various ministries were also having the different platform for engaging youth in the disaster risk management field, like Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports is having NSS, NYKs, and other ministries were also having this NCC, Civil Defense, and we also have a Junior Red Cross, Indian Red Cross societies. So keeping all view of this, the NIDM came up with an idea of engaging youth and adolescents in the DRM and in the climate change adaptation, and this course has been designed, right? And this course is with like a 5 days program, as you all aware, with a different pedagogy, like with a less lecture and group exercise, individual exercises, video clips, field visits. So this program will be the different pedagogy and full of engagement of all the participants. And there are 6 things for mandatory to successful completion of this course. The first one is manual registration, and the second one is online registration, and then pre-training evaluation and 100% attendance, and then the post-training evaluation feedback. Then you will be eligible to get the certificate. So I request all the participants to kindly ensure that. Okay, so with this, let me complete, and I request again all of you to be actively participate in this program. Thank you.
Now I invite Dr. A. Shahin Sultana, Professor, Department of Social Work, Pondicherry University, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Esteemed dignitaries on the dais, Honorable Vice Chancellor Professor Gurmeet Singh Sir, Dr. Kumar Raka Sir, and our Head of the Department, Dr. Anbuke, and we also have Shri Ranjan Kumar Sir and Dr. Balu I, and dear delegates here, officers as well as scholars, students, and dear faculty members. I think vote of thanks is going to be very, very short and brief, but the kind of reverence I'm going to have to each one of you for the role you have played in this program is remarkable, and I think words shall not fill, just the vote of thanks. So to begin with, I would like to thank the Honorable Vice Chancellor Professor Gurmeet Singh Sir. I know recruitments are going on, but amidst this, when we said that NIDM's officials are coming down, immediately he consented, and then he said, yes, I'll try to be at least for 10 to 15 minutes, and he's been there with us throughout all the programs, and even for this program, which is the first face-to-face after COVID phase. He's been here as promised to us. So I thank you, sir, very much. I also thank the registrar, the finance officer, and the Director Studies and the Dean Research and all the administrative authorities of the university who have been very supportive for us to take this program. My sincere thanks and heartfelt gratitude to Shri Taj Hassan sir, whom I think our revered Vice Chancellor has been talking about in tons, and then to Professor Santosh Kumar sir, the head of the department, CCDR and GIDRR, and to our dear fellow colleagues here sitting on the dais, esteemed dignitaries, Dr. Kumar Raka sir, who's been extremely supportive and very, very encouraging throughout all the endeavors shared by his colleague Shri Ranjan Kumar sir and Dr. Balu. I think my words will not fill the kind of gratitude I have, sir. Thank you very much for giving us the programs one after the other. My sincere thanks to the head of the department, Dr. K. Anbu here, who's been supportive and been helping out with encouraging words. His positive attitude is helping us to take further projects and come up, with lot of contributions to the policy level at the state, national as well as the international levels. I think I go very much with what Dr. Kumar Raka sir said, that during COVID phase when the entire world was halted, I think they were the one, as rightly pointed out by our Honorable Vice Chancellor, woke up immediately and started affiliating with many of the institutes, central as well as the state institutes. And it was at that time when Professor Nalini was the head of the department, they had approached. And since the project was more about mental health, children, adolescent and youth well-being, which is my area of expertise, I won't say expert, the area which I work both in theoretical perspectives and in field work. So I had taken it up. And 2 online programs I had done, which was in the same area. We had wonderful participation from all across the country. In fact, I really wanted to thank the Honorable Vice Chancellor for tutoring us, for mentoring us on the online platforms through immediate workshops through Professor Tirupati Rao sir and the Computer Center. We became sensitized to the fact that yes, life can go on even with online, though it cannot take the offline mode, but still with online. And we got tutored and we started this exercise. So we did through programs. I think they were very happy with the kind of organizing we did, and I think whether they accept or not, I really want to acknowledge the kind of support. Subsequently, when Dr. Anbu came on to as the head in charge of the Department of Social Work, they had called me. They said, we want you to take up this project. I was even apprehensive because that was an online mode, and this of course is going to be the other mode. But this was a different kind of a program, and I really appreciate, I don't know who conceived this idea, the way it was conceived, this project was conceived, that is the first 2 was online, this one was, you have to do the online and within 4 to 5 months you have to come up with the book publication. And we were almost about to release, the book is on, it's done, but due to climate weather conditions, it got just a little delayed because everywhere and across the part of the country there were slightly disasters. And we did approach many publishers, but they almost wanted 1 year, 2 years because of COVID break, they had pending assignments. But we said this time we will go ahead, and then the publisher has come up with the book which will be shortly releasing also. So I think the entire conception of the training program, just get the information, go away, no. But what is the contribution, generation of data and information from the experts is very important, and that essentially was handed over. And thank you so much, sir. I think within 5 to 6 months we have achieved. So project 1, like ISRO mission 1, 2, 1, project 1 is achieved. Today we will be releasing the book before evening, we will be releasing. And then this is the second project based on the assessment and evaluation of the first project. They had given the second project, which is again a similar kind of nature. And today officially we are launching the second project, NIDM 2.0 I call. So 2.0, and we are taking off. So thank you very much for having that faith. I'm sure we will do our best, our team will do the best. For how much ever programs you are going to give, we will try to do our best, whether it's online, offline, we will put up at least a little bit contribution of what our universities can do with regarding to disaster risk reduction and climate change adaptation. Having said that, I have to thank the head of the department for facilitating when I conceived this project, facilitating, and to all my faculty members, Professor Nalini, we have Professor Devan here who's just joined after the first year handling of the class, and then I have Dr. Satish Kumar here, Dr. Shankar, Dr. Iftikhar here, and also my office staff, who have joined. Shankar has gone for, Dr. Shankar Narayan has gone for exam duty, so he'll also be joining, and to my office staff, 2 of them, and to all my research scholars, I'm not taking out names because I don't want to offend anyone, but trust me, without your support, I have been nagging throughout, for a longer period. So without your support, it would not have been possible. At this juncture, I have to thank our Dean, because he has sent his consent and his wishes, though he was not able to be here, but always very, very approachable. He understands when I try to communicate him what is his project about, what is it doing, and he's so happy because he's basically a writer. He writes lot of essays. He is more than a trainer, a person who writes, and I think he relishes the kind of work we are trying to bring through all these things. So I really miss him, and I'm sure we are going to have him either in the valedictory if it is possible. My sincere thanks to all the officers here. I think Lakshmipati sir is there, Satish Kumar sir is here, and all the officers here from the different forces. In fact, I wanted sir, our VC sir, to read out, CDV, NSS, NCC, everything, because I think that's the kind of acknowledgement we will give you. Though NIDM took up the responsibility for registration, I think without your support, this number would never have turned up. So thank you to all the officers here. I think our relationship is not going to end on the 23rd. We are not going to leave you so easily. We will be associated with you. And I think all the young volunteers who have come, I think we are also young, no doubt, but you will be the seeds which the department is going to sow you for, take it further. So I thank all the delegates here who came on time. That is one, I think you really deserve an applause for that. All of you came on time. And it is all thanks to my team of scholars who have been communicating messages after messages, and all of you came, not a little bit of antagonism, just came, collected your tags and everything and came and just deposited here, and you sat down, respectfully. So that actually gives us a lot of positive vibration. We really ensure you, we will take good care of you throughout the 5 days. Our entire team will be at your behest. There were a lot of requests, but we could not accept because we wanted it to be like a workshop, not a seminar. Otherwise, we won't do justice. So we had maintained that. At this juncture, I want to thank all of you, your institutions, your families, for giving y'all to us for the 5 days ahead here. Please enjoy Pondicherry. We have 4 officers from UP who have been constantly, calling us. They also wanted to join. And we said, you forget UP for 5 days. Please think only about Pondicherry now. So thank you. I really welcome you also, sir. My final thanks to the guest house, sir, Mr. Gunashekaran and team, who's the pillar, pillar of the entire program here, who stands still despite making calls and what. And to his team members, Mr. Abhilash and all other staffs here. I also thank the engineering wing, the electrical wing, the EMMRC, who's always there to support us, and to the media, and I think to each and everyone who's been part in making this program a grand success. Trust me, at the end of the 5 days, we are trying to have our director also. I'm sure he will be there with us, and these 3 mentors who are going to take, the workshop forward. Our role is little simpler. We coordinate, we organize, and then we hand over to them. And so me and Anbu sir will comparatively be a little, there to organize here and there. But these 3 mentors are going to take the lead. And sir, we will be there with you throughout the 5 days. And we hope that Mission 2.0 also is on his move. And hopefully by the next year, as I had given suggestions and you have also welcomed, we will come out with all the work which you have requested. We have an efficient camera volunteer also, and the video also being done. We will try to give our best. And with these few words, I thank all of them for making it. And I think I hand over to Akita now to take it over. Thank you. Best wishes. Enjoy. When I come as a workshop training for 5 days, I ensure that I sit and take everything what the mentors give. That's the kind of wisdom they are having. So don't miss them. Coming from Delhi here all the way requires a lot of pain, and there is a little gain also because they are also happening to see all new faces. So that please make sure you take it. One word of apology, we will be extremely strict with the attendance. So you have to be careful with that. We'll have no mercy on that. We'll also be available throughout, except for our classes, we go and come back. But we'll be a little strict because we have assured them the quality of the program will be maintained. So I'm sure all of you will also cooperate. Best wishes. Have a nice week here and have the best of the learning. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. With this, we come to the end of inaugural program. We sincerely thank one and all for being with us.